Hi everyone, I'm Margourtarotreader, and today we're doing a personal reading for one of the clients who will represent the sign of Capricorn. People in question, we have a Taurus and a Gemini. Now, as a client, you already know how I do this reading. Prior to the recording, I channel into the universe with your personal information. During the recording, there will be moments of silence. It is when I'm channeling for the spirits to start transcending the messages that we need to pass on to you. Let's see here. Gonna show me a message on here for our client. As you already know, certain predictions have already come in play. And let me just say that if I give you a prediction, it will take place within the time that I give you. Could be sooner or later, accordingly to how you receive them. Okay, so predictions can and will be allowed to change. Others cannot and will not be, because it is the path that you and the people in questions have to take. Now, I'm going to show you what I need to know here. What are we looking at here? Okay, thank you. Let's see here. There you are. Now, I've read all your emails, and I've also noticed that certain of those questions have already been in play here, have taken place. So we'll see. 2, 4. Let's see here, what are we looking at here? We are going to focus on the Taurus. Okay. Now we have close to 30 questions here that you've asked in reference to certain people here, but we're going to narrow it down to the most focused ones according to what has happened recently. Now, this first spread is, as of right now, within the most recent past to the next 3 to 4 months, according to how you receive these predictions, could be including as we speak taking place. Okay. Here we have the Taurus, and here we have you, the two main people that you're in questioning. Okay. Okay, let me focus here. So on your questions here, we have, I will do the next spread for the Taurus, but as of right now, of course, you already have maintained some type of open communication with him, at least through texting. And I definitely see here, you know, having some type of communication with him, still continuous back and forth here. But I've also see you very negative here, thinking that he could be doing something else with someone else, is what I'm seeing here. Being that this is your spread, I'm sensing that your energy is very negative toward the situation here, including toward yourself, toward the Taurus, toward the Gemini, the whole point of view here. Now, you know, let's see. On number 1, you're asking why has he returned. First of all, he has returned because we've made this spell for him to return. Okay, because he still cares for you, because he still misses you, and that's exactly what he has let you know. So I'm sensing here that you're asking negative questions, and those negative questions are going to lead for you to put those into the universe here. So instead of having positive returns, you're going to put yourself to negative results here. So you need to quit that. Well, number 3, we already know that he has reached out to you, so we're going to put that one aside. And number 4, let's see here. Well, there is a girl there, obviously, that he's thinking of, you know, every now and then seeing, but I don't see this taking place here. Why? Because you already made a return here. And so as currently he is thinking of wanting to see you here. But he's also feeling that you, since the time that you've been distanced from him, he thinks that you already been with someone else, is what he's thinking here. That you move quickly and fast to the next person. I will see his spread to see about the other questions that you have here in reference to the other females. You're asking and you're giving me names of all these females, and that would be a whole day reading here to analyze each person here. So we're going to put that aside as well. You need to be concentrating in reference to your situation, to your what it is you mean in his life, and vice versa. Okay. Now in number 8, he put what he did here because obviously you and him were not having communication, so therefore he wanted you to be aware of what he was up to, what he was doing. So, and of course he's still missing you. We already know that again because he stated that in number 9. He misses everything about you, obviously. In number 10, yes, he does. He misses those things, but also he's thinking that, especially when it comes to the intimacy, you're already having it with someone else besides your husband, is what he's thinking. Number 10, let me see. Let me see here. Number 11, where are we looking at? I feel that his parents were aware of your situation, but not necessarily the whole truth of the truth. His friends. I feel that they know of you, but not of what was taking place. More or less on number 14, yes. More or less, it was something that he kept to himself because he didn't want things to know or to judge him into the situation that you and him were with. Number 15, no, he doesn't, because he still misses you, he still thinks of you, and then now that you've reconnected with him, he wants to be with you, of course, but he's thinking that if being with you will cause them more drama, okay? I think it's mainly your way of being here is what I'm sensing, but we'll see his spread next. His car, we'll see. It was a must. On number 16, it was a must. It needed to be changed. It was about time for something new. He's working on himself, as you can understand that. He's working on himself to improve himself, his image, his physical appearance, and everything else. So it's a must. You're taking things a little bit too personal is what I'm sensing here, and that is why I see you here so negative at times. Now, I think that you need to change that attitude because your negativity will definitely revoke any kind of work that you and I have been doing, and also revoke his way of returning when he's supposed to return. Now, and I will also tell you this, that your relationship with him is not over yet. It's still there. It's still being preserved to a later on time. I still feel that the communication will be back and forth between you two. And let me see here. Let me see, in reference to the Gemini, well, the Gemini, what I'm sensing here is that he is very worried about the family, worried about the kids here, but I also see him very focused on someone else. Definitely, it's another female here who I'm sensing here. Is showing up as Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising. I'm also sensing a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising. So I feel that he's talking to some relatives here in reference to would it be the right thing to separate from you. I definitely see some type of arguments and, you know, back and forth between you and your spouse. Here is what I'm sensing here. Your spouse will be, again, and according to the last spread also that we've done recently for you, it's still showing here. Within the next 3 to 4 months, your spouse will again bring up the separation and bring up split the assets here. He's not happy in his marriage. His business. He's making good money in the business, but I feel that he's spending that money elsewhere where he's not supposed to. Unfortunately, I feel that within this marriage between you and the Gemini here, I see him with someone else, period. Will the house be, at this time, no, in the next 3 to 4 months, I don't see that house being sold. I feel that there will be, he's not happy when he's at home with you, and he's just not happy in overall in reference to this marriage here, okay? Number 27. When it comes to this, I would have to say that, yes, he thinks of how it was in the beginning, but he's also more focused on how things are now. So he's being more spiteful and bitter here in reference to the situation according, you know, to you and to the family here. So I'm sensing here that your spouse is more focusing on another female here, how to make her happy, how to, you know, buy her things, give her things is what I'm sensing here. So he's really, he has distanced himself away from you. Now let me see your work here. You know what I'm sensing? I'm going to tell you straightforward, and you know how I am. I'm sensing that because you're so negative about one thing, you overdraw that energy toward everything else here, okay? You draw that negative energy toward your work, toward your friends, toward your love relationship, and you're feeling like the world is out to get you, is how I'm sensing you here. And I think that you need, definitely you need to change that energy, okay? I definitely see you seeing... the most important thing, according to what happened recently here, most recently, that changed certain things here from the emails, excuse me, and the questions that you asked. I see the Taurus here coming back here, okay? I definitely see that. So you need to be very patient. Let me see his spread, and then we can narrow down here, okay? I feel that you're not mentioning much about your marriage here, but I think that your marriage is going to be a very focused situation here as of now in the next 3 to 4 months. So keep that in mind here, okay? That if you're not ready to let go of that marriage, then try to see if you want to save it or if you want to let it go peacefully. Keep that in mind. Arcana, show me what I need to know here. We are going to see here the Taurus. Show me, what is it that we need to know here in reference to? Okay. Okay, this is for the Taurus, and let's see what's going on here in his life. Okay, wow. Okay, well, we saw this person on the first spread still here, so... okay. I'm going to tell you this, that I feel that there's a Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer, someone arising here who he is, to an extent, concerned about, because either he will hear or someone will let him know, or maybe from your own mouth, you're going to try to make him jealous that you've been out so-called with a friend for a drink and whatnot, and that's going to backfire on you big time. So keep that in mind. I wouldn't recommend you doing that, but this is what I'm sensing here. Okay? For some reason, he doesn't trust you. For some reason, he thinks that you cheat and that you will be unfaithful. Okay? It's how he sees you at this time. Now, He will come back to you, and he will be with you. I see the intimacy happen here, but he will also be with someone else. Plain and simple is how I see it here. I see a Pisces, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, female. I see him thinking here of another person here who's a Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising here. Okay. Yes, I do see him very worried here about a family member. Worried and scared what would happen with that health issues is what he's saying here. So he's very concerned about that. He was not lying in reference to that situation. But I also see him thinking here and wondering, you know, all these things here has made him see things, think of things in different perspective here in his reference to his life. Okay. I feel that it will take a place here between you and him, to the point where, you know, when you see him next time, that you're going to tell him about how your situation is at home and whatnot, and that you're ready to move to the next step forward, which is separating from your spouse. And I think that you're going to let him know those things to see what response he gives you. Do not tell him things that you're not intending to do unless you are going to do or have done so. Okay, because those things which you feel, excuse me, which you feel you're going to okay, now let me just tell you this here. Let me tell you, a lot of these things, as you already know, it can be changed. Yes, we see another female in reference to his life here, who he could actually, this woman will be attached to him in the near future. Here's what I see here. It's a friend of his already as we speak, that he visits sometimes here, or she visits him sometimes here. But let me just say this energy can change. You already know that. Okay, we could do certain things when that comes along, but I definitely see you returning, him returning to you. I definitely see that. I definitely see within the next 2 days, 2 weeks, before 2 months, let's just put it that way. I'd rather give you a more extended time than a sooner time, because I know your anxieties, how you can get. So we'll leave it at that. I definitely see you reconnecting with him, being intimate with him. So let's wait for that to happen, and then we see what else we can change here. Okay, in reference to what you asked, if we can do those things for him, for the Taurus, yes, we can do those things, definitely, but not at this time, because I want him to reconnect with you for that intimacy. Okay, according to how it goes the next time when you see him, then how he approaches, what connection you have with him, then we'll see what we do after that. Okay, now in reference to your spouse, I definitely see him here being connected to you still. I don't see you divorcing in the next 6 months here from your spouse. I do see the distance between you and your spouse here, but I don't see any type of divorce here. But we'll look as further as we go on here in the spreads. Okay, let's see here. I do feel that in the near future, you know, if you don't want to keep the house, even when you separate from your house, from your husband, I think that you need to fight for what is yours for the sake of the kids. You know, accordingly to how long you've been married to this Gemini, I think that you need to think before you act in reference to the financial situation, the spousal support, the child support, and also the house, and also the business. Okay, it doesn't matter if the business is on his name. I think that you need to fight for what is rightfully yours, but because of the children. Okay, so keep that in mind. So I think that there will be some type of distance again, continuous between you and your spouse here. But when it comes to the Taurus, I definitely feel that he is making a return in a very short time here. There is someone here who he's constantly thinking of, to his surprise here, but I don't see that relationship going anywhere. He does get approached, he does get, you know, women to come on to him and whatnot, but I don't see him taking any of these things by any means seriously. Okay, keep that in mind. But what I do sense is your negativity here going on later on in a couple of months in reference to him, because you want things when you want them, not when the universe is set to take place. So that needs to change. There is a lot here that I'm sensing here from the Taurus here, that he is neglecting too. Yes, he misses you. Yes, he cares for you. Yes, he's thinking of you. And yes, he would love to be with you intimately. But there's certain things about your ways of being that he wishes that you will change. And I don't know if he's mentioned these things or he will. But only you know. You might say to yourself, no, I'm not that way. And no, I'm the opposite. But it is what it is. We think of one thing and they see of us in different levels, in different ways. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Okay, because I feel that we all have room to change here. Okay, so be aware of that. there are some things coming here in the next 3 to 4 months. After 3 to 4 months, could be even sooner, according to how you receive these predictions. Remember that there will be some issues here within your family here, some problems here, because I'm sensing that the Gemini, your spouse, will probably say to his family or your family how you've been, how you're acting. He's almost going to blame you for a lot of these things, a lot of this distance in the marriage. So he's working his ground here for people to see you differently. Okay, so keep that in mind. I feel that you're going to hear things that are not so. I feel that you're going to feel betrayed here by other people here within your family here. So just be aware of those things. I'm telling you this because I want you to be optimistic, and I want you to maintain yourself a more positive attitude toward yourself. Okay, I think that those things can get the best of you when you set yourself into your own way of thinking. So be aware of that. Okay, I feel that there will be a distance coming in here after you see the Taurus, you intimately being with him. I think that it's almost like any little thing that he says, you break apart and you withdraw yourself, and that's a no-no. I will not recommend it, because then I feel that there will be a distance here coming along here. Okay, that you're going to be with him intimately, and then all of a sudden there's a distance for quite some time here. So prepare yourself for that, or now that you know, you can try to avoid that distance. Okay, now let's see the second spread, and I'm going to see again the Taurus, I think, because of accordingly to how I see it here. So you can still see the Gemini in you, of course. I'm going to show you must need to know here. What are we looking at here? Okay. Thank you. Now let's see. You need to find a way to change certain things about you that I feel that you have room to change, okay? Because he does care for you. So if he didn't care, if he didn't miss you, then he wouldn't have texted you back. He wouldn't respond back to you, okay? So keep that in mind. He will definitely make a return in your life, and he will definitely, whoever it is in his life, I feel that he's going to call that off eventually once he returns. And I'm also sensing why, because again, you and I are working on certain things, and we'll continue to do so for this to happen. Okay? Absolutely. And he does care for you as you do for him. Okay? Maybe you're gonna let him know, let's just do this on a trial basis. Let's just be friends and then see what happens. Let's take it one day at a time, which is also a good thing to start in order for you and him to reconnect again. Okay, it's not a bad way to do those things. And I see you here before the year ends, sometimes after 5 months or after summer. Here is what I'm sensing. Could be even less. Remember that. Here you're going to be having a very hard time here in reference to your separation with your spouse. Feeling like you're being split in half between your children, between the family, between your spouse here. Okay? And I feel that your spouse will also tell you, look, listen, I'm not just going to throw you out in the street. Here's some of this money. Get your stuff. Do whatever it is you need to do. Be aware of this, that I feel that your spouse feels that he's more in control of the whole situation, how the divorce will happen or the separation, how the money, the house, and everything will happen. I feel that you're giving him too much power into the situation, separation, either because he knows that you've cheated on him before, or either for whatever reasons. I think that it's wrong of you to do so. Okay? Because if you let him do everything, then guess what? You're not getting anything or less of anything. Okay? Keep that in mind. And I'm also sensing that you're giving up here because you think that you're going to end up here with the Taurus here. Okay? This is what I'm sensing here. You and the Taurus, I definitely see you connecting with him again. in a very few weeks here, including months here. I can see you, you know, retaking this relationship here. But keep this in mind, that for any type of marriage going on here, that is what I'm sensing you're thinking of and wanting here from the Taurus. It's not going to be in 2018. We'll see as we go along further in the future, but as of right now for 2018, I'm not seeing that. Why? Because you're still within your marriage here. You're still having some struggles there within your separation here, and also you're struggling within the trust issue going on here between you two here. Okay, because you're going to be thinking that all those female friends that he have, maybe he's sleeping with them or more than one. So your trust issue is going to be, it's going to be an issue, period. Now let me say this, that when you get mad for whatever reasons, I feel that you have a backup either way, and you know what I mean. So I feel that you need to withdraw yourself from that as well, because having someone to go to, a friend to go for, even if it's just a drink and whatnot, I wouldn't recommend it, because if it's a male friend, then you know what they're looking for eventually, and I wouldn't recommend it, because then, you know, it will go to someone else's ear, and then they will see you as, you know, pretty easy, let's put it that way. Okay. Let's see here. I feel that you're going to have slight issues at work here, but it's almost as your energy is calling for this. I feel that you are the one pursuing this negative energy toward the situations and your surroundings here. Okay, you see more of what is out there. So in other words, if they look at you differently, you feel that they hate you, or that they have something against you. Okay, it may not be the case, but I feel that there is a female there within your work surroundings, and a male who feels that you are like know-it-all, or that you think that you're better than them, and so that is causing a conflict within your job here. Okay. It's okay if you know it all, but you know, you have to know when to do so. Okay, when to show your work and stuff. Let's see here. Okay. So the most importantly here is that the Taurus is coming back. I definitely see intimacy happening between you and him. I definitely see conversation going on back and forth between you and him. I definitely see separation here between you and your spouse here. Okay. There'll be some struggles here, because you feel that he's going to be deceitful with your money and your family here. Okay. Well, let me see here. Thank you. Now, let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Arcanos, show me what I need to know here. Show me what I need to know here. Arcanos. Just be patient, okay? He'll respond back again, and definitely you will be seeing him in a very short time and be intent with him. Okay, so now this circle will be for you and your spouse, the priest and high priestess, and Capricorn is the emperor. We'll do the emperor as well. Can I show you my saint here? Thank you. Okay. What are we looking at here? In a very short time, remember this, you're going to have some difficulty moments coming ahead in between you and your marriage here, okay, and your spouse. So keep that in mind. I see movements coming. I feel that you might even want to attempt to even move. I don't suggest it. Again, that's up to you, because the person within a marriage, the person that leaves the home is the one that gets less of everything. So keep that in mind. Keep yourself firm. I don't care if he knows that you've cheated or not. You need to stay on put. Okay? Now, if you're ready for that divorce, then you need to definitely go seek some counseling there, because you don't want to end up with nothing. Okay, let's see here. I see some type of conflict here with a female at work here. Okay, just avoid that. Keep your distance. I feel that it's a good position. It's a good job that you have here, is what I'm sensing. But for some reason, I feel that you're not going to be very happy in a very short time here in your job. Okay. You're going to be feeling very confused here in reference to the relationship between you and the Taurus, and also the Gemini, even though they're not showing up here in the circle, because I feel that you need to focus on you, most importantly, as of now, in the next couple of months here. Okay. Get ready to make some dramatic changes here in your life coming to you from your relationships, from your marriage, and your home stability here. Okay, so get yourself together. Okay, let's see here. What am I looking at here, Thanos? Yes, you do want the separation, you do want the marriage dissolved, but you don't want it happening as it is in a very short time here. Okay, I feel that you're fixing to see here in a very short time the Taurus here, but I'm also feeling that seeing him will not be as pleasing as you hoped. So keep that in mind, that it doesn't matter even if you go out for a drink or dinner or whatever. Just enjoy that time being there. Don't expect the whole world to be changing that one night or that one evening. Just enjoy the time, whatever it is. If you're just going to sit there and talk or have a drink, just enjoy that time. Let him know that you're not being over obsessive, over compulsive, and just relax, okay, and enjoy it. Your spouse is just not happy with you. He's willing to move on forward because he has fallen in love with someone else, is what I'm sensing here. Okay, unfortunately. I definitely feel that in a few months here, you're going to have a lot of conflict with your spouse. So you need to touch bases with him, and you need to see what really is going on here behind the scenes. And don't put up with his shit. Plain and simple. Okay, now I'm going to do the next circle for the Taurus, because this is the person in focus you have. Okay, show me my state tonight here. Show me my state tonight here. Thank you.